Hi, this is Jen from My Scrap Menagerie, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to cut, weed with some tips on how to weed, also how to apply transfer tape and some tips on that, and then how to install this cute little car decal onto your car. Now, before we begin, I just want to let you know that these car decals, if you decide to put it on the car paint, just be aware that you're putting it on paint and the sun will fade your paint on the car. So if the decal is on that, whatever's behind that decal, that paint isn't going to fade. So the rest of your car is going to fade. Then you take the decal off and you have that design now with the darker paint. So just be aware of that. So anyway, let's get started. The supplies you'll need to do this project are a Silhouette machine and mat, a weeding tool, a vinyl scraper, an Oracle 651 vinyl, clear shelf liner or transfer tape, and you need to pick a design that you want to use for this project. We're going to start our design. We're going to pick a design here from the Silhouette library. So go over here and click to the library. We're going to pick this cute little butterfly design, so double click on that. Now we have it on our mat, so we just close the library. Now we don't need this blank butterfly, so we'll delete that. Then if you click on the bits here, you notice that it's not together. So let's select the whole design. Then you right click and make compound path. That way it's an entire design as one piece. So now we're going to size it. And let's bring it down to about roughly 4.5, something like that. There, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's just a bit more than 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4 down. So that's a pretty good size for our decal. Now we want to place our butterfly just a bit over, because I'm going to put a little 1-inch strip down the side here so that I can test out my cut before I go ahead and cut this whole butterfly out, because if it's not going to cut through or it cuts through too much, then you don't want to have done the whole butterfly and have to throw it out because it didn't cut or it just cut right through the backing. So what we want to do is also include a spot where you can put some vinyl to test. And now that we are ready, we're going to go over to send. And we are going to make sure it's on cut. We're using tool 1. And we're going to use this vinyl glossy, because the vinyl for car decals is usually the glossy. It's the Oracle 651, and that, the way you can tell, is because it has a gloss to it. The temporary vinyl usually has a matte finish. So we're going to choose vinyl glossy, and we're going to set it to cut. And we are going to make sure it's on auto blade. Okay, so here's the settings that it picked for us. Now we want to go over and place the vinyl on our mat, and then we can test it out. Okay, so we're going to put our vinyl on our mat. Now let's put this one strip here. Okay, I didn't cut it exactly straight, but That's okay. Okay, so just make sure that's on there real good. You can get your scraper out if you need to. And then we're going to put this over just a couple inches here. We're going to start it after the 2-inch mark. And let's just straighten it out just a little. Okay, we want to get that on there. Okay, excuse the glare. I still have bad lighting in my room here. Trying to fix it, but haven't come up with a way yet. Anyway, okay, never mind the smudges on here. I just had some adhesive on top of this, but this is just for an example. Okay, so we have that ready. So we want to just double check. This starts at the 2-inch mark and it goes 2, 3, 4, 5 to the 6-inch mark. So 2 to the 4, or 2 to the 6, sorry. So we just want to make sure that our butterfly is going to fit. So there's the 2-inch mark. So 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, it's a bit too big. So let's adjust the size here. So let's go back to design. And we just shrink it down a bit. Now let's go over to send. And that looks a little better. Let's just move it slightly so it doesn't get cut off. And that should be good. Okay, and then when we do our tests, the tests we're going to put down this side here. Okay, so let's get this ready to go. All right, we're going to put this in our Silhouette machine. Okay, we're going to do a test. So just click on test. Okay, after playing with my vinyl a bit, testing it, it turns out that my vinyl needs a number 5 for the blade. The rest is the same, but I needed a number 5 because it wouldn't quite cut through. It depends on your vinyl. Let me show you here. Okay, so right here, there's the squares. Now, I had to try a couple times because the inner triangle of the test square came right off with the square, but the second one worked better. So you just have to test it because I'm not using Oracle vinyl for this. I'm using some vinyl I got from a relative of mine that owns a sign shop. So he uses whatever kind of vinyl this is for his signs. So you just have to give it a test. It's a good idea to have a strip here to test first, just so you don't ruin your design. Okay, so let's put it into the Silhouette to cut. Okay, so we are ready to cut our pretty little butterfly there. So instead of test, we're going to go down to click send. And if you get this little yellow band here at the bottom, don't worry about it. Just be patient, because sometimes you get some little glitches with your computer and it's not really getting the design sent as quickly as you would think. So just leave it and it will cut. Okay, now that you have done your design, you want to weed it. So we're going to go ahead and weed. And just so you can see, I'm just going to turn that light off. You want to be careful what you're weeding here. So first I want to get the outside of the design. So you can see here with the butterfly, we want to get all this outside area off, all the outside. So we'll do that first. Just catch a little corner with your weeding tool. Sometimes it might take a few minutes to get it started. Now, if you're having some trouble with the design pulling up, just give it a little poke there. Just take it easy because it depends on the vinyl, how easily it's going to weed. Sometimes you have to coax it, and I could have tried for a bit more force or one more in the blade depth. So it looks like it's having a few little problems, but just take your time. Weeding is supposed to be relaxing, apparently. And it can be when it goes right, but sometimes when it doesn't, it's kind of annoying. Because this vinyl I haven't used before, so I'm not really used to what it's like to weed. Okay, there's that. We just want to make sure that holds down. Just about done. There we go. All right, we are done the outside of our butterfly. Okay, so that's done. Now what we want to do is we want to do the insides. We've got little insides here that have to be taken out. Just make sure, move nice and slowly, carefully, because you don't want to be pulling out the wrong piece. So we're just going to start on the first wing here. And when you're weeding, just remember to leave it on your mat, because if you have some intricate pieces, it's best to keep it on your mat while you're weeding it. If not, you could get pieces lifting up, even though mine is lifting up anyway, but I think it's to do with the kind of vinyl it is. Okay, now we are done weeding that. Now, next we are going to use some transfer paper. Now, if you don't have transfer paper, the actual transfer paper, you can use this contact paper, contact brand. It's clear matte, and I got this at Walmart. It was pretty cheap. Now, if you are using this contact brand paper, just realize that when you use this, you can't leave this design on the contact paper for too long, because then you will get adhesive covering your design before you put it on your car. So just so you know, with the contact paper, it can leave residue on your design if you leave it on the contact paper too long. But if you're going to put it on your car right away, like I am, then you can use the contact paper. Otherwise, use actual transfer paper that you can get from your vinyl distributor. Okay, you want to make sure you got your contact paper about the size of your design, because what you're going to do now is you want to get it onto your contact paper, onto your design, and lift the design off this base paper, because the contact paper is what you're going to use, or the transfer paper as it's usually called, you're going to use it to transfer your design onto your car window. So I'm just going to turn my design around here, just so it's easier for me. Then you want to just peel back some of the contact paper backing because it's sticky on one side. So you want to get this going here. Now, to get it to go on there properly, I would first place it just on the top of your design here, just a little bit of it. Get your scraper tool, because you want to make sure it is pressed on there really firmly as you're pulling the backing off the transfer paper. You want to be pushing it down there really well. Just burnishing that right on there. Okay, we discard the backing. Just go a little more, make sure that's on there really well. And that there's no bubbles. Okay. Then when you've done that, you want to peel it off the mat. So let's just get this, pull this backing off, and everything comes with it. We'll just get that off of our mat. Okay, and set the mat aside. Leave it on this paper if you want, on the backing. You can just peel it off your mat and then go out to your car before you put it on there, just to prevent it from getting dust on the sticky side. Okay, to put this decal on, you just need to peel it off the white background. Then to put it on, you just make sure your glass is clean before you put it on there. Place it where you want it. Get it placed on there. Then just take your squeegee here and just burnish it really good onto the glass, because you don't want it to bubble. Get it there really good with the squeegee, with the scraper. And once you think it's on there really good, then you can start peeling it off. Just slowly peeling the transfer tape off. Or in other words, what I used was the contact paper. So you just want to peel that off slowly. And there you go. You are done your car decal.